Welcome to the Rock is George podcast. I'm your host, George Dionne. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit like, follow, or subscribe on the platform that you're listening to us on. You can also check out my work at the loudest.com on the planet, knac.com, for exclusive hard rock and heavy metal interviews, live show coverage, album reviews, and more. My guest for episode 184 is drummer FREDRIK JOHANSSON of the Swedish thrash metal act RIFFORIA. The band is set to release their debut album Axeorcism on March 15th through Metalville Records. It features vocals by ASTRAL DOORS and Lion's Share vocalist NILS PATRIK JOHANSSON, who happens to be FREDRIK's father as well. And here's FREDRIK JOHANSSON to tell you more about it. If I knew absolutely nothing about RIFFORIA, how would you describe the band's music to me?
We play modern heavy thrash metal, if that's a genre. I would describe it as that. It's the music is mostly thrash metal. We're inspired by the old legends, gods, early Metallica, Megadeth, Testament, Slayer, and so on. But we got a little twist on the vocals. I think since NILS PATRIK is more of a heavy metal vocalist, so we can elaborate with some more melodic vocals as well. So thrash leaning towards heavy metal.
Now, the genesis of RIFFORIA started way back in 2010 with this other band that you had called Tuck from Hell. Tell me a little bit about Tuck from Hell and what happened with them.
Yeah, we were actually a pretty popular live band locally, and eventually got a record deal and recorded an album called Thrashing. And things went pretty well. We had a pretty shitty band name though, but then when we were about to record our second album, we got about halfway through the process, and then other things in life happened. I got kids. One of the guitar players, he went to study classical music on the university. The vocalists took over the family company. Yeah, so it didn't happen for us. But me and Marcus, the guitar player of RIFFORIA, one of the guitar players, we have continued jamming during the years, and we have written some songs from time to time. And a couple of years ago, about 1 year ago maybe, we had recorded some demos that we played for my dad, NILS PATRIK, and he said, "What the hell? I can sing for you guys. So let's start a band." And we call ourselves RIFFORIA. And I was pretty skeptic in the beginning, with PATRIK being a more of a traditional hard rock heavy metal vocalist, but we thought it fitted really well to the music, and it makes us somewhat unique. A lot of thrash bands in the beginning had more of this style of vocals as well, but the more recent years, bands have more kind of not growl but scream vocals, and I like that as well. But I think we got something pretty good going on, so we're satisfied with the album. And
well, let's talk about the new album. Your debut album, Axeorcism, comes out on March 15th through Metalville Records. I hear a lot of overkill with NILS on vocals, but certainly got your own unique sound here. Had you been sitting on these particular songs for a while?
A couple of the songs actually we wrote like 10 years ago for Tuck from Hell. We dusted them off for this new band, and PATRIK rewrote the vocals to fit him more. Most songs were written like the last two years maybe. it certainly got some overkill vibes, and that's not a bad reference because I love overkill, you know, and yeah, and they got a great vocalist, so yeah, maybe then some people have mentioned Metal Church as well, leaning more to heavy metal, but yeah, Metal Church is a really great band.
So I asked this a lot of bands where the album title isn't a song on the album. So what inspired the album's title, Axeorcism?
Yeah, it was Patrick actually that came up with it, I think, at least. Since the name is a wordplay as well, kind of, we wanted to, for some reason, we wanted a title of the album as well that was a wordplay. So, and you know, the guitar-driven music, and our guitar player, at least Marcus, he has one of those really axe-like looking guitars. So, Axeorcism, and yeah, The Exorcist is, it's a pretty heavy metal movie, you know.
That's
you
true.
could say so. No deeper thought behind it, just good fun, you know.
When it comes to writing lyrics, do you as a drummer contribute to the lyrics of the songs on this album?
Yes, I contributed with at least one song, and Back in Tuck from Hell, I actually wrote all the vocal melodies and lyrics. But that was more of a, you know, party thrash band. We wrote about beers and babes and politics, the standard thrash metal formula. But yeah, Patrick has written most of the lyrics, and he's a really experienced songwriter, so it came pretty natural to him. And a lot of the lyrics are about, you know, politics, what's going on in the world today. We're not really taking a stand in political matters, but it's a lot of mad things going on. So Patrick thinks it's pretty easy to come up with stuff.
Well, you got a couple of videos out that double as singles. You have. I'm curious to find out more about the Devil's Sperm.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, we got the title from, I think it's the first or second verse in Burn with the Purple. He sings something about the devil's sperm. So it's just a reference to that. When we wrote the song from the beginning, we didn't. The lyrics are pretty. It's about a guy having morbid nightmares, you know, and then we didn't have a title for the song, so then we thought about that cool line from Burn, and then we threw it in there, and yeah.
Got a fantastic animated music video that goes along with the Devil's Sperm. Who's responsible for that?
Yeah, I don't actually know about that one. The first lyric video was by Randall Hammer Videos, I think. He had done something for Corpse Grinder and some other somewhat famous bands. And with this one, we just sent our idea that the song was about a guy with morbid nightmares and so on to the label Metalville, and then they sent us that one back. So things went pretty fast. I think we got the video like the day it was supposed to be released or something. So I haven't even had a time to ask who did it, but I like it really much. It's pretty cool, and I think that lyric videos for a band that's on a budget, you know, is a really good alternative to real music videos, because if you don't find the right guy or have the right amount of money, you will probably end up with a really cheesy music video.
Your other music video is CC Cowboys. If you want
Yeah.
to tell me a little bit about that song.
Yeah, CC Cowboys is actually a cover song by the only cover on the album by an old Swedish punk rock band called Imperiet. They were pretty famous in the 80s. And this was one of their hit songs. I thought that all Swedes had heard it, but now when I played our version, a lot of people said, I don't know about this song, the original. So we thought it was a really great song, and Patrick has been inspired by it in a lot of songs that he has written for his solo albums, and maybe some songs for Astral Doors. So we thought that we could make a heavier version out of it. So we threw in a couple of riffs and added some solos in the middle. So we think it came out pretty well, and that we did the song justice, and we're happy with it. I think it's maybe one of the least heavy songs on the album, but it's still pretty heavy. And yeah, also obviously the verses are in the Swedish language as well. So we thought about making the lyric video translated into English on the verses as well, but it didn't really make any sense when we tried to translate it. So it's the lyric video is in Swedish. So yeah.
So I noticed earlier you said, typical thrash themes of politics and, your older band, Girls and Beer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I noticed that you did a typical 80s thrash thing. You named a song after the band. I know that
Yeah.
has done this, Motorhead has done this. I think Overkill did it too. So what's the story behind the Rifforia song?
Yeah, that's obviously like back in the days, a lot of band had self-titled songs. So we just wanted to do that as well as a tribute to the glory days, which I wasn't really a part of though. But the lyrics on that song is actually not about anything in particular. It's just a tribute to and a metal hymn.
It's just fun, straight fun.
Yeah.
So one of your old bandmates in Tuck from Hell, guitarist Petrus.
Yes.
Had some guest appearance on the album. I know he's in a band or was in a band with Nils Patrik. So that's the association there.
He was with us until after as well. He jammed with me and Marcus a lot. Then he joined Civil War, and he then continued to jam with us and contribute with some, guitar parts for some songs. And he's like the main writer of the music on one of the songs on the album. And he is still one of me and Marcus's best friends. So he joined in and played the guitar solo on Death Row Child, the last track on that album. And he helped us out with some technical details in the recording process, because we recorded the album ourselves, and he's a pretty experienced guy in that area, and he's a great guitar player as well. So he did some great shredding on Death Row Child. We had a discussion with him about him playing the guitar in Rifforia together with Marcus, but he's pretty busy with writing a new album for Civil War, and so we agreed it was not the best option. So then we brought in Magnus, an old friend of mine who is might be an even better guitar player. So he's one of these guys that he only plays guitars, 24/7. He doesn't work or anything. He just plays guitar. So we're happy to have him on board, but still, great friends with Petrus, and maybe he will make an appearance live on the bass. Now we have Martin Haglund he was in Astral Doors, and he is in a couple of other bands as well, to play the bass for us live during the summer. And hopefully, if we get the opportunity, maybe some kind of touring in the late autumn or winter this year, I would say. Yeah.
Being a new band and all, have you guys played any live shows yet, or is the first one going to be the Alive Festival in Sweden in the summer?
Yeah, the first show will be on a live in Sweden. So that was the deal. That was going to be our first show. It's a lot of famous Swedish artists playing there. Not a lot of metal bands, but a lot of famous artists, and we're a brand new band. So that was the deal, to make it kind of exclusive. But hopefully, it's a bit hard since we're releasing the album as late as we do this year. So it's hard to get festivals during the summer, because most bills are already finished. But if something comes up, we will absolutely do it, and then we're gonna try to get a tour later during the year. So no live shows yet, but it's probably the most rewarding and fun thing about being in a band is to play live, according to me, actually. And we had a lot of fun with Tuck from Hell back in the days. Played a lot of shows, and we're pretty energetic back then. Not as young, but I think we can still thrash.
Axeorcism comes out through Metalville Records. How did you end up with a deal with them?
Patrik has been with Metalville with both Astral Doors and his solo albums, and he's really satisfied with their work. And actually, back in 2010, we released Thrashing through Metalville as well. So we got good relationships with them, and they are a good label, and they get the work done. So we sent them a couple of tracks and got them hooked. So it felt natural. We didn't shop around between labels. So Metalville is a good label, so we will stay true to them.
I noticed the new album is going to be released on CD and digital. I didn't see any vinyl. Is that going to happen or not?
Hopefully it will happen. It's nothing scheduled for vinyl yet, but a lot, maybe not a lot, but people have been asking for the vinyl. So I think vinyl is it's obviously on a revival. That's nothing new, and it's useful for both listening and decorating your home with. I see Dreams of Avalon in the background there, and I still got a lot of. I got a lot of vinyl myself on the shelves, and the walls at home. So we will try to make vinyl happen, but it's not decided yet for the moment.
I know that NILS Patrik has a couple other projects. I know he's got Dragonland. He's got Lion's Share. He's still kind of sort of in Astral Doors. Do you have any other projects that you work on?
NILS Patrik has a solo album that he's recording right now, and I will probably play the drums on that. And I know that Astral Doors are recording an album as well to release this year, I think, maybe next year. And me and Marcus, we are like, we stick together. So probably we will focus on Rifforia. And if we don't get a lot of live shows happening, we will probably start working on the next album pretty soon. So, some riffs have been shared between us, so we will probably be satisfied with working with Rifforia, except for me, playing on Patrik's solo album.
Well, those are all the questions I have for you today, Fredrik.
Yeah.
The new Rifforia album is Axeorcism. It comes out March 15th. It's a fun little thrash album ride, and I think you did a good one here.
Thanks a lot, and thanks for having me here. It was great talking to you, and until next time, we will thrash on.
Absolutely, man. Best of luck with everything, and thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Once again, I want to thank FREDRIK JOHANSSON of Rifforia for coming on the Rock is George podcast. Be sure to check out their debut album, Axeorcism, out March 15th through Metalville Records. Head over to your favorite music streaming app, take a listen to what's available. If you like what you hear, buy a physical copy, support the artist. For all things Rifforia, head over to their official Facebook page /Rifforia. I also want to thank Nathan T. Burke and Metalville Records for making this interview possible. You've been great. I've been George Dionne. Discover your next favorite artist on the Rock is George podcast.